Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. And today we've got something really interesting, I think, especially for all of you technical writers, documentation specialists, and IT professionals out there. Anyone really who's looking to not just survive, but actually thrive,
Mhm.
even when times get tough. You know
Ah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
So we're going to be diving into a piece by Curt Robbins called Hard Times Are Good.
Yeah.
Here's why. And I gotta say, this guy Robbins, he's got some serious experience under his belt. He's worked with some major players, Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Wells Fargo, you name it.
Yeah, and I think what makes this piece really fascinating is how he ties his own experiences in the tech world with the stories of his grandparents who, you know, lived through some really tough times. The Great Depression, World War II, like talk about hard times.
Wow, yeah, that's a whole other level.
And he talks about how they had this like true grit mentality, that kind of discipline, persistence, adaptability that helped him get through it. And he argues that those same qualities are just as relevant today, especially for us in the tech industry.
So not just getting by, but actually using those challenges to kind of level up our careers.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is. And I think it resonates because, let's be honest, the tech industry is constantly changing. Economic downturns, rapid advancements, it can feel like you're constantly hitting a wall. But Robbins is suggesting that these obstacles can actually be opportunities for growth. They can push us to become more resourceful and really hone our skills.
It's kind of like, you ever notice how sometimes a tight deadline can actually bring out your best work?
Right.
It's like that pressure can spark some serious creativity and focus.
Exactly. And Robbins takes it even further. He's not just saying endure the hardship. He's giving us actual advice on how to channel that pressure into positive action.
Okay, I like
So
that.
he talks about things like using downtime during project delays,
Mm.
maybe to update your portfolio or learn a new software tool, or even using that fear of job insecurity as motivation to network more effectively and really make your resume shine.
So it's about taking control, not letting circumstances just dictate your career path.
Right.
But I'm curious, how does this crew grit thing actually play out in the day-to-day life of someone in tech? Like, how does it translate to the skills we need to be successful?
That's a great question. And I think to answer that, we need to kind of unpack this idea of true grit a little bit. So,
Hmm.
for technical writers, documentation specialists, IT professionals, it means having that discipline to meet deadlines even when the project feels overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
It means persistence in learning new technologies and adapting to the ever-changing documentation tools.
Hmm.
It means being flexible enough to adjust to shifting project scopes and being able to collaborate effectively with all kinds of different teams.
So it's not just about powering through. It's
hmm
about having the mental agility and resilience to adapt and learn from those setbacks.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the tech world is a marathon, not a sprint. And the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be challenges, there will be rejections, but those moments can be so valuable if we approach them with the right mindset.
And that's where Robin's experience really comes in. He's been in the trenches working with companies like FedEx, USAA, PNC Bank. He's seen firsthand how the people who embrace those challenges, even the uncomfortable ones, are the ones who ultimately thrive.
Right. And he's not just suggesting we passively accept those challenges. He's advocating for actively using them to sharpen our skills and become even more valuable assets within our organizations or as freelancers in the tech world. He actually uses this great analogy in the article. He compares career challenges to physical exercise. Like,
Mhm.
you don't build muscle by lifting the lightest weights, right?
That makes sense.
You need that resistance. You need to push your limits to really see growth.
So instead of being afraid of those tough projects or those crazy deadlines, we should see them as chances to kind of build up our career muscles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that applies to everything from handling difficult stakeholders to learning some complex new software. Every challenge we overcome just makes us more resilient and more adaptable to whatever changes come next in the tech world.
Robbins also talks about turning job rejections into learning experiences, which honestly can be tough for anyone, especially in a competitive field like tech.
It is tough. It's totally natural to feel discouraged after a rejection. But instead of dwelling on the negative, Robbins encourages us to really analyze that feedback, figure out what we can improve, and then use those insights to kind of refine our approach.
So it's almost like turning that no into data. Like,
No.
what can I learn from this to make myself a better candidate next time?
Exactly. Maybe it's about polishing your interviewing skills, beefing up your portfolio, or even realizing that maybe your ideal role is a little different than what you initially thought. Rejection can actually guide us towards a path that's better aligned with our skills and aspirations.
And that kind of ties back to that idea of adaptability,
Yeah.
which seems to be a big part of this whole true grit thing. being open to new possibilities,
Right.
and adjusting your course based on the feedback you get.
And that's crucial in the tech world, especially because things are changing so rapidly. I mean, think about all the anxiety around AI right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So many people are afraid it's going to replace jobs, especially in fields like technical writing.
It's definitely a concern for a lot of people.
And I think Robbins would say instead of getting paralyzed by that fear, we should channel that energy into adapting. Maybe it means learning new skills that work well with AI, or finding ways to leverage AI tools to actually enhance your own work, make yourself even more efficient and valuable.
So basically, viewing AI not as a threat, but as a tool that can open up new possibilities if you're willing to adapt and learn.
Precisely. And that's where that true grit comes in. It's that mental toughness to not just survive change, but to actually use it as a springboard for growth and innovation.
So instead of clinging to what we know, we can embrace the challenge. Use it to learn and grow and ultimately come out stronger on the other side. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but with a practical, career-focused twist.
I love that. And I think that's such a powerful message, especially for anyone in tech who might be facing uncertainty or setbacks right now. Remember, hard times are inevitable, but they don't have to define you. With the right mindset, they can actually be catalysts for growth and even greater success.
So it sounds like Robbins is advocating for like a proactive approach.
Yeah.
Instead of just reacting to whatever comes our way,
Yeah.
maybe we can actually anticipate those challenges, even seek them out as opportunities to learn and grow.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely. He even encourages us to think back on our past experiences, the good and the bad, to see if there are any patterns in how we handled those challenges. What
Yeah.
worked well? What could we have done differently? And by analyzing our own career data, we can come up with strategies for the future so we can face obstacles with more confidence and resilience.
So it's like building a personalized toolkit for dealing with those tough times.
Yeah,
We can draw from our own experiences to figure out what works best for us.
that's a great way to put it. And it's important to remember that this isn't just some abstract concept. Robbins has lived this throughout his career. He's seen how people who really embrace this true grit mentality are the ones who rise to the top. They're the innovators, the thought leaders.
So if you're feeling stuck or discouraged right now, maybe the answer isn't to shy away from challenges, but to actually seek them out, view them as opportunities for growth, and use them to build that true grit muscle.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the core message of Robbins' article. Hard times are going to happen, but they don't have to derail your career. With the right mindset, they can be catalysts for amazing growth and even greater success.
So to wrap things up, what's your main takeaway for our listeners, all those technical writers, documentation specialists, IT professionals who are out there navigating this ever-changing tech world?
I think it's pretty simple. Embrace the challenges. Use them to fuel your learning and growth. And never, ever give up on your goals. Remember those lessons from Curt Robbins and even the wisdom of his grandparents who faced incredible hardship. They persevered, they adapted, and they ultimately thrived. You can too.
This has been a really insightful deep dive into turning hard times into career gold. Big thanks to Curt Robbins for his practical wisdom and inspiring perspective.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, even when things get tough, true grit can lead to amazing rewards.